Respected guests, Fremont College graduates, family and friends, we are honored to welcome you all to Fremont College's Class of 2018 Graduation Commencement Ceremony. That's what I'm talking about, yes. You know what I'm talking about. The graduates will be entering soon and taking their seats, so please rise, if you will, for the processional. Please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fremont College's graduating class of 2018. Here they come. Make them feel it. The Fremont College graduating class of 2018. I don't hear you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the 2018 graduating class of Fremont College. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Please remain standing and facing the flag while the El Toro Battalion of the United States Sea Cadet Corps begins the presentation of the colors. And here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Here they come. The El Toro Battalion of the United States Sea Cadet Corps presenting the colors. I direct your attention to the center aisle.
We're going to make a U-turn.
And as they exit, put a nice round of applause for these young cadets. Once more, let's hear it for them. Wonderful. Thank you, and please be seated. It is with great honor that I now introduce you to the Chancellor of Fremont College, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sabrina Kay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I can't really tell you how proud I am of our graduates. I've seen these students going through day and night. Some of the nice students worked full-time during the day and worked school until 11 p.m. So honored guests, parents, and friends and family, thank you so much for being here, supporting our graduates. And thank you for our Board of Governors, Board of Trustees, board members, keynote speaker, faculty members, thank you for being here. Before I address everyone today's graduation, I also want to thank Lee Page, who has been our MC for the last 10 years. He has not only, yes, let's give him a big round of applause. From the day one, he has not only served us as our program advisory committee member in the paralegal program, he also taught the classes. He has always guided our graduates with such enthusiasm on every single commencement. And he told us, this is our 10th year, that was our agreement. He was going to help us for 10 years. So this is his last year as our MC, and you guys are very lucky because you have his grace and enthusiasm that we're gonna all carry together. As you graduate, I want to leave you with a couple of very quick remarks. One is, when you have fear in your heart, know that fear is actually your strength. In my case, I found myself being a single mom in college. I was so afraid that I would not be able to provide for my daughter. I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years. I didn't even know what vacation was. I went to nightclub for the first time in 2014. So that fear gives you incredible focus. And I know all of our graduates, every single one of you, started at Fremont College with a little bit of that fear inside of you. Don't lose that edge. I see the nod. Yes, remember that first day? Don't lose that edge, because that is your actually positive energy that you can turn that into an incredible focus. The second thing is, look around you. Look at these amazing friends that you made. If I didn't have my friends, if I didn't have my mentors, I wouldn't be here today. I was a poor immigrant who couldn't speak a word of English. So my heart belongs to my students because I walked your walk, I talked your talk. I was you a few years ago, or even worse. But I'm here speaking to all of you because of the friends I made along the way. So don't lose any of your friends who you made at Fremont College. They're gonna lift you up, they're gonna help you, they're gonna get you where you wanted to go. So for that, every year, I have such an incredible honor to introduce my best friend, my greatest mentor of my life, and our chairman of the board, Ambassador Frank Baxter. I want to tell you a little bit about our chairman of the board. He comes to our board meetings, but sometimes he doesn't see all of you. But he is really the brain behind of what we have done and what you have achieved at Fremont College. He was the ambassador of Uruguay. He started with such a humble beginning and became one of the most successful CEOs of Wall Street at Jefferies. Jefferies is now the largest investment banking firm in the world. He is the one who led that company what it is today. And even after his retirement, he served our country as an ambassador to Uruguay, and he never stops. If you go to Uruguay, he is loved by every single person, even more known as the president of Uruguay, and I'm not exaggerating. And he has done, personally, it's incredible. He still runs, he just finished LA Marathon, but he has done LA Marathon, New York Marathon, Hawaiian Marathon. He has done all of it. He climbed the Kilimanjaro. He has done everything and achieved everything. Have 4 beautiful grown children who are also successful, incredible marriage. As a person, character, I cannot even prouder to introduce anyone to share today's memorable day for all of you than my mentor, Ambassador Frank Baxter. Please welcome.
Thank you, Dr. K. You read that just as I would have written it. And I want to add my congratulations to the class of 2018, and thanks to the board and to the faculty, and especially to all the people who are here to share our honors. And today we're very, very lucky in our keynote speaker. Dotsie Bosch is an Olympic silver medal cyclist for the 2012 Olympics, London Games, and 8-time U.S. national champion, a former world record holder, and 2-time Pan-American gold medal winner. Wow. Her story is chronicled in the Netflix documentary Personal Gold, and she is also one of the stars of the upcoming documentary film, The Game Changers. Dotsie earned a degree in plant-based nutrition from Cornell University and has become a leading voice in health technology and plant-based eating. Her popular TEDx talk called Olympic Level Compassion, check that out, has had over 150,000 views. Dotsie is also a color commentator on the NBC Sports Network and a co-owner of Bosch House Inc., a consultancy focused on sports technology, market development. It is my great pleasure to welcome Dotsie Bosch.
Thank you so much. Well, hello, superstar graduates. You guys feel like superstars? Good. I'm glad to hear that, because you definitely are. I know I did on my graduation day, because this is a really big deal. This is a big deal. And thank you to Dr. Sabrina Kay for inviting me to be here today. Thank you for your tireless work, right, for truth and knowledge. Also for adopting the framework of this work-based learning here at Fremont. Finally, graduates can come out of college and then actually do what they studied immediately. Because I graduated college in journalism, studied journalism. I loved studying journalism. But then, a bit late, my senior year, I should have done it my sophomore year, my senior year, I do an internship at the news station, the local news station in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I hated it. Every single moment. So that was a day late and a dollar short to figure that one out. So you guys are far ahead of most graduates, I can say that. So we must also thank the families that are here. You guys, huge just round of applause for your families. I think they deserve it. Yeah, right? Thank you guys. They were there for you guys through all of this, I know they loved you and supported you and pushed you, and it's every mom and dad, it's every child that you guys have, it's aunts and uncles, it's just, it takes a village, right? It takes a whole crew. And traditionally at a college that would be full of, 21-year-old graduates, we would say, please don't forget to thank your parents when you move back in with them. Because that's like sign of the times these days. But here, I think we need to say to the families not to forget to thank your graduates for getting this degree when you end up moving back in with them. It's coming. You guys are going to be successful. So tell me, was getting to today tough at all? Yeah? Anybody kind of travel any rocky roads to get here? Right? Yeah. Some rough paths, rough roads, maybe boulders in front of you some of the time. And I would also imagine for some of you it may have been significantly harder than others. You embarked on this journey. It was a long journey, it probably felt like, of self-improvement. And you took this huge step to expand your knowledge and your life. But the road wasn't always smooth. I know that. And what I've learned about rocky roads is that our hardships, that's what define us. It's kind of what Dr. K was alluding to, right? Not our successes. No, it's not true. It's our hardships are what define us. And what happened, not in the details of those tough times, but then what we do with them. What do we do with the hard times? And how we end up developing out of them. Who we become because of them, right? Maybe even to spite them. So I'm going to challenge you guys here today, right? One final Fremont College challenge. I want to challenge you to learn to celebrate these toughest of times. Because you have to remember you guys are superstars, right? We're going to stick with that all day. Okay. You guys can take it. To celebrate the toughest of times because they are what shape your character. And it was so important for me, personally, to lose absolutely everything. Because then I was able to figure out what was most important. And I'm honored to share a little bit of my story here with you guys today of the journey to the Olympics that Dr. K asked me to share. So if you don't like the story, it's her fault. So it took me a while to learn, to really hear and answer my calling. My wake-up call for life rang when I was back in college in Pennsylvania, but I was too self-absorbed as a young person to really heed it. Mine was a story of a girl turns fashion model, turns anorexic bulimic, turns drug addict, turns suicide attempt, turns Olympic silver medalist and animal rights health crusader. Kind of not a typical journey, but I'm going to guess many of your all's roads haven't been typical either. I grew up a wholesome girl from the southern girl from the state of Kentucky, depending on where you are. Some people in the South say Kentucky's not in the South, but it is. And I was just kind of the typical all-American kid. And when I went away to school, I majored in journalism, as I mentioned, and philosophy. There's another winning major. Not. I joined the crew team, and the first year I joined a sorority, and I was just enjoying, right, being in kind of a new environment and experiencing that independence. But by about the middle of my sophomore year, things began to spiral downhill for me very fast. I was plagued with feelings of self-doubt, of extreme self-hatred, and desperation. And I found myself there very, very ill. I was diagnosed with severe anorexia and also bulimia. Within just a matter of weeks, my hair began falling out in big clumps, my teeth were turning black, my skin turning gray, and my eating disorder decided to join up with its partner in crime, a cocaine addiction. Wild days and reckless nights took over my life, as you can imagine. I left college to pursue some modeling in New York City, and I got some jobs when I wasn't hungover or self-medicating. In addition to the drug addiction, I also had an exercise addiction, which probably sounds kind of strange, but I would spend up to 8-9 hours a day at the gym, just hammering away at my body, trying to shrink it into nothing. The truth was, I wanted to try to get so small that I would just disappear. The self-hatred was running wild inside of me. My parents couldn't even recognize me, and they tried multiple unsuccessful interventions. And that's where I found myself suicidal. And at the end of my rope, when I ran out in the middle of the 76 freeway, hoping it would be a painless and swift death. But I wasn't successful, obviously. So ever so slowly, I began to seek help. I found a therapist who was the sixth therapist who I had met with. Anybody who's done good therapy knows you go for a few of the bad ones before you get to the good ones. And we started getting to work. We worked 4 times a week for almost 2 years. And we made progress. We worked on my issues and on my deep pain. And so fast forward 2 years, near the end of this healing journey, my therapist said to me that she wanted me to rediscover ways to move my body in a healthy way again, which I hadn't been able to do for so long. And she even gave me license to be athletic, if that's what I chose. So I really randomly picked cycling. I thought, well, maybe I'll just get a bike. Out in LA by this point, and it's sunny every day. So at first I just loved how it made me feel. Any of you guys that ride a bike, I mean, it feels good, the wind in your face and freedom of movement. And I just kind of felt like a kid again, like the bike makes you feel. But then I began to get good at it. So I decided to start racing, try a race and start racing. And I raced for a few years as an amateur until the national cycling team just took notice of me in 2001 when I got 4th at U.S. Nationals against all the best females in the country. And so then I was able to spend the latter part of my 20s and all of my 30s traveling the world as a professional cyclist and pick up 8 national titles and 2 Pan American golds and break a world record and then end my career at the Olympic Games. And throughout the very first, well, about 3/4 of my racing career, I ate meat and dairy. I never really thought about where my food came from or what it went through to make it to my plate. Now, don't worry about going with this food thing you guys are wondering. I'm going to get there swiftly, okay? There'll be a point. One night I just saw an expose on TV. Wasn't expecting it, but it came up, and it was in the middle of the night, I remember, and it depicted and showed the horror that goes on at slaughterhouses as workers were kicking and shoving and dragging and even electrocuting live animals to die. And I just was hit like a knife in my heart. I was horrified, shocked, dumbfounded. And the next morning I just woke up and it was like I was possessed. I just cleaned out all animal flesh from my refrigerators and cabinet in my home. But I remember thinking that I hoped that what I had seen on TV was maybe an anomaly. Maybe it was an exception to the rule, right? This really can't actually go on because it seemed like there's laws against this kind of treatment because this is America and the government protects and serves its people, and that must include the sentient beings that are in our food system, right? Sadly, the answer's wrong. They don't. So right then and there, in the very middle of my kitchen, I began my vegan journey as an elite athlete with my eyes completely laser focused on making the Olympic team in 2012. But the truth is I had no idea if I could make the Olympic team eating this way, right? I was doing this because it was the right thing in my heart, but I had no idea. Neither did the Olympic coaches and officials, believe it or not. Would I have enough strength? Would I be able to build enough stamina? Would I have enough endurance? And would I get enough protein? The never-ending question. And I was met with criticism pretty immediately. And these small-minded coaches and sports scientists, they asked what I was doing and why I was doing it. And the pushback for me, it was relentless. They were going up hard. They said, this is a really big risk you're taking. You may lose your dream of going to the Olympics. You're much older than the others, they had to point out. And you're going to need adequate protein to recover. So I didn't mention, but at this point in my career, I'm 36 years old. Anyone here in their mid-30s? Okay, some of you. Anyone of you thinking about pursuing an Olympic berth in your mid-30s? Well, right? But I bet many of you thought you might be too old to go to college. But look at you, superstars. Here we are. So you know what? I said, all right, what the hell, we're going to try this. So I only had at this point 3.5 years to prove that I was one of the best on the team and to get selected to the Olympic team, which is no guarantee, obviously, and that would put me there just 5 months shy of my 40th birthday if I made it. So the coaches, they started grilling me. They called it plant-based BS. They basically were just saying to me, vegans can't be Olympians. But I love it. I love it when powers that be say you can't do something. Yep, right? Right in their face, which we did. And you guys did that too. I'm sure you guys had a lot of naysayers, yeah? And I don't know for me if it was like their, offensive, you must eat meat message, or just their condescending attitude that bugged me the most. But I knew deep in my heart that for me personally, this was my moment. And this decision, it was going to shape who I became and who I stood for the rest of my life. And if you have not had your moment yet, when you realize exactly what your life means and it comes into this sharp focus, some of you have, some of you haven't. You will though. And I encourage you when that happens to run with it like you've never run before. I told all these sports scientists, I stood up and I gave a little speech and I said, you know what, I don't really care if I fade away and shrivel up into a raisin on this diet, because you know what, newsflash, this is more important to me than anything I think I will ever do, and it's way more important than any Olympic Games. I mean, what is the Olympic game? It's just a big sporting event. To me, these are lives we're talking about. They're living, breathing creatures with feelings and hopes and desires who feel love and pain and joy, and I'm just not going to idly stand by and eat them because I think maybe it might make me strong for a sporting event. It's just not right. And a lot of us want to stand up for our morals and values, right? And those were mine. I said I'm going to stand up for what's right and for what's fair and for what's just. And then after I finished my little speech, I went home to research what in the world I was going to eat, because I didn't know. So Google was very helpful. It was easy. So at this point, now my past is behind me, my anorexic, drug-addicted, suicidal days were behind me, and my life in front of me. And at the age of 39 and a half, I now saw what was truly possible when you incorporate that kindness and compassion and respect for all in your diet and in your everyday life. So I made that Olympic team pursuit cycling team, plant-based BS and all. So some of you, well maybe most of you, don't know what team pursuit cycling is. I'm just going to take a guess. It's not quite as popular as baseball or football here in the US. It's a little bit more popular over in Europe. But it pits 2 teams of 3 cyclists against each other. And we circle the track, which we call a velodrome. It's really high banking in the corners, 44 degrees. So if you look at it from the top, it looks like you're looking down like a 3-story building. Our track bikes have no brakes, so that always freaks people out knowing that. And we have 1 gear, so we're on a fixie. And the first team to cover 3 kilometers wins. And the winner is when the 3rd team member's wheel crosses the finish line. So like many things in the human condition, you're only as strong as your slowest on your team, or your weakest link, they say. So Team USA at the London Olympics, we were underdogs. And this is putting it mildly. The bookies at the Olympics had us 5th at best. I don't think it's legal to bet on Olympic Games at all, but we found out they were doing it, and it was not cool to find out they had us 5th at best before. Not a lot of confidence building there. The host British team, they were the odds-on favorite, and the Australians and the New Zealanders and Canadians, super hot in the mix. So in addition to my very unconventional vegan diet, our team trained in pretty unconventional ways that's captured in the documentary Personal Gold. So in that year is the year that Lance Armstrong and the men's cycling team were disgraced, right? In blood doping scandals. So we, the women's track cycling team, we used what we called data, not drugs, to boost our performance. And this included things like monitoring our sleep and our vitamin load and our oxygen saturation, our resting pulse rate, glycogen levels, wattage output, and the list goes on. We felt that if we could know everything that we possibly could about our bodies, these numbers gleaming from fitness trackers and medical devices and even DNA testing, we thought maybe we could find enough of an edge to just bring home a medal. All of our competitors, all of those teams I mentioned, were run like Formula One race teams. The riders had their own individual wheel mechanics and brake mechanics and personal masseuses. The British track team had a $40 million budget. We had to buy our own toilet paper to take to the track. I kid you not. The Wall Street Journal likened our story to Bad News Bears meets Moneyball. Ours was a total do-it-yourself operation because without proper funding from the U.S. Olympic side of things and from USA Cycling, because they had plowed all of their money behind the men's team, Lance and his crew, we were forced to lean on our husbands. They served as our mechanics and our masseuses and our chefs, and as I titled them, our manservants. If you don't have a manservant, get one. I still call my husband that. He doesn't really like it anymore. But we also crowdsourced for help, simply by just asking. And we got support from the likes of physicians, a biologist, a geneticist, a sleep scientist even, a data scientist, and even an ex-Navy SEAL commander. So the men's team at this point is completely out of the running because they're suspended for doping. So the hope for a U.S. Olympic track cycling medal, which was going to be a first in its generation, totally fell on us, the women. So in the semifinal ride, we raced Australia. And that ride was either going to take us to the gold medal ride or to the bronze medal ride. We were pretty slow coming out of the gate, and we fell behind in that race by as much as 1.6 seconds, which is forever in track cycling. And no one, male or female, has ever recovered from that much of a deficit or that much of a fall behind in Olympic team pursuit history. But my team, I gotta tell you, we had grit and we had hustle. And we dug so deep and we mounted a come-from-behind victory. And we beat the favored Australians on the line by only 0.08 of a second. You can't even snap your fingers that fast, right? It was shocking for them. It was an American record at the time. And so the silver medal that I have from Olympics, which I brought for you guys here today, because it's always way more popular than I am. It's one of the highlights of my life for sure, but it's definitely enriched by the fact that I was the oldest cyclist on the track in history, and still am, fueled by a plant-based diet and just supported and loved by an amazing team that was committed to being daring and gritty and innovative. And I said at the outset of this talk that I was going to challenge you guys. I challenge you to learn to celebrate the toughest of times, because that's what shapes your character. What is character made up of really, though? Well, for me, as you just learned, it's grit and it's hustle. Grit is courage, definitely. It's resolve. It's strength of character. But what's hustle? Hustle's just, you just keep coming back for more, right? Boom, you get knocked down, you stand right back up. Boom, someone says no to you, but you say yes to yourself. And I get asked all the time by reporters that know my story, know my past, if grit and toughness were just born into me. In other words, they're just asking if it's simply a genetic trait that I carry. And I say, absolutely not. Grit and hustle are skills. They only become a part of you if you practice them, just like any other skill. And when's the best time to practice them? Right in the middle of the worst of times, right? In the hardships, when you're digging through the trenches and you're in the muck, you're in the disappointments, and you're on those rocky roads. You guys all decided to come here to improve yourselves at Fremont College. That's why you're here. So I'm going to challenge all of you guys to find your Olympic medal or your world-saving dream, whatever that is, but make it a reality, right? You've got what it takes. You guys have been through the muck. I know you have. I've heard some of your stories. And then now it's time to shine. So I'm going to ask you guys to accept this challenge. Will you? Yes. Right. I cannot wait to see what you accomplish and where you go. Thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations.
very much. That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. You are truly an inspiration to everyone here on the stage and off the stage, and especially our graduates. One more time for our guest speaker, please. We will now continue the ceremony with a recognition of graduates who have not only reached and excelled academically, but have also demonstrated strong character. Our speaker just mentioned character, and we have quite a few people in our graduate group here with strong character. A positive attitude and involvement at the campus community. We recognize the 2018 Fremont College Valedictorians. To honor our Paralegal Studies Valedictorian, please welcome Mr. Tom Levin, attorney at law for Glazer, Weil, Fink, Jacobs, Howard, and Shapiro. None of them are here. And a member of Fremont College's Program Advisory Committee. Welcome, Mr. Levin.
This is the 10th year that I have the honor of giving the Valedictorian Award in Paralegal Studies. And during these past 10 years, Dr. K has been nice enough and courteous enough never to ask me the question. What's the question? Were you the valedictorian of your class? So that I can do this for the 11th year, the answer is no. But what does that mean? It means that I, just like all of you, can one day sit up here and give an award to the valedictorian of the class. And it is a very special award. So this year's class of 2018 Paralegal Studies Valedictorian is David Hong. So David achieved a 4.0 GPA, a perfect GPA. And not only did he demonstrate a strong dedication to academics, but also responsibility to the Fremont College community as a paralegal studies ambassador and tutor, all while remaining committed to his family and outside obligations as an intern with the Orange County District Attorney's Office. Within less than 2 weeks of completing his paralegal studies program, he joined the law offices of Zulu Ali as a paralegal in the area of criminal defense. And today it is our honor to introduce you to the 2018 Paralegal Studies Program Valedictorian, David Hong.
Thank you, you're far too kind. I want to thank you all for joining us in our celebration. They said I only have 5 minutes, so I'm not going to bore you for too long. First, can we have a round of applause for our board and our Chancellor, Dr. K, please? I also want to thank Professor Ibanez. Right there. Not only is he a professor, he's a practicing criminal defense attorney, so if one of you guys get in trouble celebrating tonight, you know who to call. He was the professor for the majority of my law classes throughout my paralegal program. I remember one of the very first lectures he gave, he told the class that if anyone asks you a question about the law, the best answer you can give is, I don't know. So, Mr. Ibanez, thank you for teaching me that I don't know anything. Next, I want to thank Ms. Tasha Skips. Everyone should know who Tasha is. She's the head of career development and student affairs, and pretty sure a lot of other things, but like I said, I only have 5 minutes. Tosh, you're like the sister I never had. I really enjoyed working with you and joking with you. Thanks for everything. Thank you. So a little about me. I was raised in a single mom household. I didn't graduate high school. I got my GED like a week before the program started. I didn't even know if I was going to get in. But you know what? You guys probably don't want to hear about all that. It's kind of boring. You're welcome. I stand before you guys so honored and humbled to be your valedictorian, and I'll tell you why. Because throughout my time attending here and later on working here, I've gotten to know a lot of you guys. And I know some of you that were working 2 full-time jobs. I know some of you had children while working a full-time job. Some of you were taking the bus an hour and a half one way to get to class and doing homework on the bus. I couldn't do that because I get car sick. Some of you didn't have a place to stay and were living out of your car, yet you still made it to class, unlike some of those who had beds at home. So in my opinion, you guys are the real valedictorians, so a hand for yourself, please. I remember after my dad passed away and my mom was struggling to keep our heads above water, she told me, she gave me the realest advice of my life. She said, son, now that your dad's gone, we all have to work twice as hard. She didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't ask why. She just told the truth. So here we are, and we're celebrating our accomplishments, and rightfully so. We should, and we deserve it. But like my mom did so long ago, I want to keep it real with all of you. So yeah, let's go out, let's party today. But I want everybody to remember the feeling we had the first day of attending here. The sacrifices we were willing to make, the motivation and determination we had, the view of a bigger picture in life. I want you all to celebrate today, but tomorrow I want you to wake up just as hungry and even desperate as you were that very first day. I want you guys to better yourself, whether it's more schooling or getting a better job or building better relationships. Never stop trying, never stop learning. School is never really over. And last and certainly not least, I want to be selfish here and give a shout out to my lovely mother. Where is she? Oh, she's right there. Yeah, there it is. Stand up. Like I mentioned before, my dad passed away when I was very young, and my mom raised my brother and I by herself. Mom, you told me that now that Dad's gone, we all have to work twice as hard. But I knew if I worked half as hard as you did, I'd be okay. Thank you guys, and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you very much, David. Wonderful, wonderful speech. Now to honor our Business Leadership Valedictorian, please welcome Mr. Jeff Levine, President of Levine Management Group and Program Advisory Committee member at Fremont College.
Thank you, Lee. Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to all of the graduates. You guys are all awesome. The valedictorian of the Business Leadership Program this year personifies the best qualities we hope for our graduates. She performed exceptionally well as a student while also contributing to Fremont College as a student worker and supporting her fellow students as a tutor. She is always dependable and an extremely hard worker, both in school and on the job. No matter how busy she may be, she always finds a way to help you make time for each of you when you need it, has a positive attitude, and gives amazing customer service. A bright student and an even brighter employee, we're honored now to have her as an employee of Fremont College. She will be serving the students and graduates as a career development advisor. It's nice when you guys decide to come back. It's our pleasure to introduce to you the 2018 Business Leadership Program Valedictorian, Ms. Rebecca Renier.
Thank you, Mr. Levine, for that gracious introduction. And I'm glad you found your parking space. And that was me you asked for the parking lot. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. I want to welcome everyone here, all the esteemed PAC members, the Fremont administrators, Dr. K, the board, faculty, friends, and family to the Fremont College commencement ceremony for the 2018 graduates. Congratulations, Fremont grads. I am truly honored to be among this graduate class because I became a member of the Fremont family late last year. As I thought about what I was going to say today, I pondered a few ideas and began to think about what it means to graduate. And to be honest, I didn't have a definitive answer. The Cambridge Dictionary states a graduate is a person who has successfully completed studies at a school or received a degree from a college or university. Yes, we worked hard to complete the required curriculum to get that piece of paper with the golden seal on it, but what does that really mean? Where do you go from now? For some of us, it means we had a goal to achieve. For some of us, we wanted to challenge ourselves. Some of us came to Fremont College to learn skills so that we could get out in the workforce and land a job. Whatever it means to us as individuals, this is truly an exciting time for all of us. And it is met with hopes for the future, mixed with thoughts of uncertainty, and with the question, what next? Personally, it was a long road for me to finally arrive here. I've had a few careers over my life before getting a degree, but I had always intended to complete my undergrad. But somehow life always seemed to get in the way, or I allowed it to. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. When I finally decided to make a commitment and get my business degree, this time I vowed not to allow any obstacles to stop me. But guess what? Life still got in the way. It always does, and it still will. Nonetheless, I stand here with all of you today celebrating this great accomplishment. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. So here's my answer. Graduating from college to me means I've created more opportunities for myself. I've opened more doors and have more possibilities. The experience has enriched me personally and professionally, but more importantly, it has helped me to realize my true career passion. While working on finishing my business program, I worked in the student services for Fremont College under the Federal Work Study program. That's when I developed a very strong desire to work in education. I wanted to help other students realize their dream jobs. Often you'll hear on campus, Fremont family. I have never experienced such overwhelming support demonstrated collectively in higher learning. I really wanted to be part of that. As luck would have it, 3 months before I finished my program, an opportunity popped up and I jumped on it. And I've been working in career development ever since. Now I get to honor the Fremont tradition by supporting my fellow graduates, alumni, and future students. As I look among the faces in front of me, I'm really super proud, excited to share in this moment with you and to know that some of you have already landed some amazing jobs. That just gives me such a thrill. And I really look forward to working with the rest of you and to continue that relationship in the future moving forward. So I leave you with one more question. How do we know that the path we choose after we graduate will be the right one? Well, the answer is we won't. College is not a predictor of future success. It's our determination and fortitude that will pave the road to success. The same determination and fortitude it took for us to study hard, set aside life's obstacles, and power through to finish our studies. If you can accomplish that, you really can do anything. Thank you so much, and congratulations, class of 2018.
Thank you very much. All right, congratulations, Rebecca. Now to honor our Fremont College salutatorians, please welcome Mr. Sameh Rashad, Vice President and Managing Partner of Titans Capital Partners.
Good afternoon, graduating class of 2018. Hey! Woo! I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the parents, friends, and family that are here as well. And just wanted to say, you guys look incredible. Look at yourself. Did you look at yourself in the mirror this morning? Look at the smile you have on your face. Look at that smile. Look at each other. Look at the smiles. Don't forget about those smiles. I just want to leave you with one word today before I pass out the awards, is that all of you are special. And I want you to just take this one thing with you. Take your smile and your confidence through that door. Take your what? Your smile and your confidence through that door. What are you going to take? Your what? Your smile and your confidence through that door. And as long as you have those two things, you can do anything you set your mind to. Is that all right? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. K, for allowing me to be here today. Thank you, friends and family, again. When it comes to academic achievement and leadership, the following salutatorians award winner achieved the second highest graduating class rankings within their departments. They demonstrated consistent academic excellence and leadership among their peers. The salutatorians award represents the Health Information Technology Associate's Degree Program. It is my honor and pleasure to award Rafael Tapinko to come up to the stage for your award. Hey! Give her another round of applause. Okay. Next, it is now time, and my pleasure to introduce our final salutatorian representing the American Bar Association recognized Paralegal Study Degree Program. Please give a round of applause to Ms. Joyce Tagawai.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, appreciate you. Give her another round of applause, please. Okay, it is now my pleasure to introduce our next salutatorian representing the Sports and Rehabilitation Therapy Associate's Degree. Please give another wonderful round of applause for Ms. Danielle Ames. Next, I'd like to introduce Jonathan Dietrich, our Director of Academic Ops, who will be presenting our all sports medical services. Who will be presenting the Spirit Award. Please give Mr. Deek a wonderful round of applause.
I have to do this, I'm afraid. Hello, everybody. Hello, graduates. Congratulations. The Spirit Award recognizes graduates who have consistently demonstrated extraordinary loyalty, commitment, dedication, and service, with the goal of building spirit and support among fellow students and the college. This year's Spirit Award recipients are Christina Vasquez and Manny Casillas. Big congratulations to Christina and Manny. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Lisa Creech, who is our Director of the Business Leadership Program. And she will be presenting the Instructor Choice Awards.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Good afternoon. All right, the Instructor's Choice Award. This award recognizes the graduates who attain distinction by demonstrating. How's that? All right. Okay, so these students, they attain distinction by demonstrating exceptional leadership in the classroom, contributed significantly to the positive classroom environment, and assisted their fellow students, their fellow colleagues in helping them to succeed. These students exemplify positivity at Fremont College. So, Wood, Margaret Skips, Roshawn Wade, and Matthew Edwards, please come to the stage for your awards. Congratulations. Okay, they're gone. Okay.
One more round of applause for our Spirit Award winners, all three of them. The ceremony will now continue with the presentation of the candidates. You know the candidates, that's what you came for. Oh, it all comes back to you now, yeah. The graduates. Graduates, would you please rise and proceed to the rear of the room as we prepare for your presentation. Remember, this is what we came for. Remember, I reminded you earlier, if you see somebody you know, if you see somebody you like, you gotta let them know you love them. I know I don't have to remind you again, but this is their time to shine and your time to shine. Let them know you care and let them know how proud you are when we bring them to the stage to receive their degrees. It's not over yet. They'll be back in a minute. They're just getting in line to come out and receive their degrees. And isn't that what we came for? As they line up, I want to thank all the graduates for being so wonderful. Thank the administration of Fremont College. Thank the faculty and the advisory committee. for treating me so well over the last 10 years and for allowing me to contribute. Let's hear for them as they exit to come right back around so we can meet them individually and find out who these graduates are and what accomplishments they've made, what degrees that they're receiving. They will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, as I present the graduating class of Fremont College for 2018, our first graduate is Lucinda Barone, Associate of Art degree in Paralegal Studies. Noel Castro, Associate of Arts degree in Paralegal Studies. Alexa Wickwire, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies. Rita Vasquez, Associate of Arts degree in Paralegal Studies, magna cum laude. Kimberly Negrete, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies. Desiree Gomez, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies. Kristen Chavez, Associate of Arts degree in Paralegal Studies, Student Ambassador. Keisha Bragg, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies, magna cum laude. Keisha Calpo, Associate of Arts degree in Paralegal Studies. Moody Iskandar, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies, Student Ambassador. Gina Hartunian, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies. Crystal Koa, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies. Jesse Rosenfeld, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership, summa cum laude. Elaine Garcia, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership. Nancy Perez, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership. LaToya Hudson, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership. Regina Drona, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership. Victoria Gonzalez, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership. Monica Flores, Associate of Science degree in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy, Student Ambassador. Anthony Ramirez, Associate of Arts in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy. Isis Brocamontes, Associate of Arts in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy and Student Ambassador. Teresita Liberato Bravo, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy. Dominique Parker, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy. Lizette Ferrero, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy. Eileen Alton, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy. Maria Luisa Ruiz, Massage Therapy Diploma. Ashley Go, Massage Therapy Diploma. There you go. We'll be right back. Jose Chavez, Massage Therapy Diploma. Margarita Favela, Massage Therapy Diploma, magna cum laude. Brittany Pratt, Massage Therapy Diploma, magna cum laude. Crystal Collins, Bachelor of Science degree in Healthcare Management, summa cum laude. Amalia Grajeda, Bachelor of Science degree in Healthcare Management, magna cum laude. Catherine Omana Muriel, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management, magna cum laude. Christina Gutierrez, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management, magna cum laude. Shanika Washington, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management. Tamika Reed, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management. Nikki Vasquez, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, magna cum laude. Rogelio Vasquez, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, summa cum laude. Edith Colazo, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, magna cum laude. Anita Blades, Associate of Arts in Digital Marketing, magna cum laude. Alexis Aguilar, Health Administration Certificate, summa cum laude. Cheyenne Hernandez, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, magna cum laude. Alicia Jackson, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, magna cum laude. Natalie Avalos, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology. Tayana Prince, Associate of Science in Health Information Technology, summa cum laude. David Hong, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies, summa cum laude and Student Ambassador. Rebecca Renier, Bachelor Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership, summa cum laude. Rafaela Tampico, Associate of Science, Health Information Technology, summa cum laude and Student Ambassador. Danielle Ames, Massage Therapy Diploma, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy, summa cum laude and Student Ambassador. Joyce Takawai, Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies, magna cum laude and Student Ambassador. Christina Vasquez, Massage Therapy Diploma, Associate of Science degree in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy, magna cum laude. Manny Casillas, Sports Massage Therapy Diploma, Associate of Science in Sports Rehabilitation Therapy, Student Ambassador and magna cum laude. Margaret Limasene, Associate of Arts in Digital Marketing, summa cum laude and Student Ambassador. Roshan Wade, Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management, summa cum laude. And last but certainly not least, Matthew Edwards, Bachelor of Arts in Business Leadership, magna cum laude. Let's hear it for our graduates! Make them hear you! These are your graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Make them hear you! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! All right! 2018 graduates, you made it over. You made it through the fire, and now it's time to get your official designation. I would now like to ask Chancellor Dr. Sabrina Kay and Jonathan Deitch, Director of Academic Operations, to come to the podium and confer the degrees and diplomas. Will the graduates please remain standing?
All right. It is my privilege to inform you. It is my privilege to inform you that the candidates assembled here. Oh, thank you. We're going to try this for the third time. I want to make sure you hear me. It is my privilege to inform you that the candidates assembled here have qualified in all respects for this day by successfully completing the curricula offered by Fremont College. They have been recommended by the faculty and college administrative board to be awarded their degree and diploma in recognition of their academic accomplishments. I am pleased to present the qualified candidates.
Thank you, Mr. Deitch. By virtue of the authority vested in me by Fremont College and the state of California, I hereby confer upon you the degree and diploma for which you have qualified with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached. So here's your moment, graduates. Please move your tassels from right to left. And friends and family,
alumni, students, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please remain in your seats until the graduating class of 2018 has recessed from the auditorium. Please remain in your seats until the last graduate has left the room. I'd like to personally thank everyone who has helped out preparing this graduation. These are some hard-working people at Fremont. They all deserve praise. And again, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to share in this momentous occasion for the last 10 years. Graduates, go forth.